Hello, this is Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com. Today we're doing a shaky cam interior review of the 2014 Infiniti QX80. This is basically Infiniti's top of the line. This is about as good as it gets, and it gets really good here. Since this is a luxury car, of course, we're going to focus a lot on the interior. There are some beautiful refinements in here, lots of great stuff, and things that I had a pretty good time playing with. So let's get started. This will be a pretty long video. You'll see the leather. This is throughout the cabin here. These are the window controls, mirror controls, and this little rocker switch right here. Back and forth there, maybe you can see it. That folds in the exterior mirrors right there, and then folds them back out. And moving down, you'll see here's the seat presets. Here's the first vent. This large vent is actually two pieces. This is the defrost for the window. This is what actually blows on the driver. So you can close this and the defrost will still run. Coming down here, you see here's the rear hatch. This is the parking assist management. So it's basically when this light is on, it makes it. You see the horn. When the light is on, it signals you. It beeps at you to tell you that you're going to hit something. That it senses something, that you're probably going to hit something. When you turn it off, then it turns on active braking. So it will still signal you, but not quite as loud. Active braking will actually stop the vehicle if you're about to hit something. And then this, of course, is blind spot management. This indicator, you'll notice, it also has the management for when you're backing out of something, and it's a wide view look. So when you're in reverse, it switches to a wide view. When you're in standard, straightforward, it does not. And that's about it. That's more or less what's over here. There's your door lights and stuff right here, and of course this down here is the parking brake. Coming up here, we see a pretty standard Infiniti instrument cluster. This looks very similar to what we saw in the Q60. You'll see here are the controls for trip and so forth. You can paddle through several things right here. Then you see battery, engine heat, tachometer. This is the changing display that changes as you use these buttons up here. And these buttons are set so that you're not pushing them here, you're pushing them back here. It takes a second to get used to that, but it's not really that big of a deal because you don't use them that much. This is, of course, the speedometer and fuel gauge. I will tell you that if you can afford this car, you probably do not care about the price of fuel, but this is a serious fuel hog. I think that one improvement Infiniti might consider making is putting a larger fuel tank so that you don't fuel quite as often, because I was barely able to get 200 miles out of a tank of fuel, and that's not really that great. And then oil temperature, which is important if you happen to have the towing package with this. This is the big 5.6 liter engine, V8 engine, same as what's in the Titan pickup truck. It is very capable. This SUV can pull a load if you want it to. So if you have your boat or whatever and you want to hook it up, there you go. Dongles here are pretty much what you would expect. Nothing really special. This runs the rear window and front windows, washers and whatnot, and lighting. Then over here you have, this is what controls your infotainment system over there. Pretty straightforward. Backup button, back and forth. You can change the source, move back and forth throughout that source, change the volume, and your phone. Over here, cruise control. You'll see that this has active cruise control, so you can set how far you want to be away from the vehicle in front of you, and it will take care of that. Also, you can set right here, this is where you turn the blind spot management on and off, or toggle how sensitive it is. When there's snow and ice outside, I found that if I turned it down, if I hit this a time or two, turned it down a little bit, I didn't get nearly the phantom beeps that I was getting before. A little bit important, but probably not a big deal. And of course, this is keyless, so here's your keyless start. Now, here's the entertainment system. You'll see it's pretty straightforward Infiniti. It's fairly easy to use. There are a few things that I think could be improved, but there are very few infotainment systems out there that are that great. So, none of them are perfect. Most of them are okay. You'll see here, this controls basically all of that. So this is pretty much your fast button access to stuff that's up there. You get used to using this pretty quickly. When you're doing, this is all navigation stuff. It's pretty useful. I found it easy to use when I wanted to enter something very quickly. This made it very, very fast, much faster than it could be otherwise. And then this, of course, is something I would like to see on all of these cars, the ability to turn that screen off so you don't have the glare at night. It's just kind of a nice little thing. And these vents are very, very good. They look small, but they put out a lot of volume. They're very good vents. Down here, you'll see analog clock, must have in any upper class vehicle. Then you'll see more quick buttons. This is mostly for the stereo and so forth. This is a CD and DVD player. I'll get to that in a minute. The DVDs play in the back. And then climate controls down here. This is a multi-zone car, so there's more than just a couple of zones to take care of. This takes care of the driver's side. That takes care of the passenger side. You'll see there's a button for the rear. There are vents in the rear, both in the floor and along the upper panels. I'll show you those in a second. It seems like it should be very complicated, but it's actually simple. Most of this stuff, you can control all of these from up here. But there's also controls for rear seating on the rear seats, which you might as well just tell the passenger, set it how you want it. So there you go. That's a cool thing. Bun warmers, heaters and coolers over here. Over here for driver and passenger, and your plug-ins and so forth. These right here, there are two of them. There's one right here in front of the shifter, and there's one right here. These fold up the second row. I'll show you how that works. It's kind of a cool thing. It's useful. I don't know if it's a little bit easier, I guess, than doing it by hand, just pulling a lever versus pushing a button. Shifter, you'll see it's very pretty. It feels very good in your hand. It's a nice feel, nice touch, and pretty standard, straightforward. In here you have your drink cooler or drink holders and whatnot, and you have a phone spot with a USB port. Now you notice I have my USB plug in there. That's a perfect spot. You can plug in your phone here, and then you can set your phone to the in front of that and let it run. And it's very, very nice. It's a thoughtful setup. Center console here slides back and forth, and inside plenty of room. I was able to get my entire camera bag in there without a problem. Also some more plugs, and you can turn off. There's the switch, or there's some plugs right here. You may or may not be able to see them. I think it's too dark. There's plugs here for an external DVD player. There's more of those on the back of this in the passenger's compartment. There's also the switch that turns on and off the 110 volt outlets back there. And you'll see over here, beautiful dashboard, great wood. I really like the way they did this. So very quickly to do this, let's look at the back seat. That is the passenger side rear seat, and I will show you when I push this button, it folds. Voila. And then you'll see there's more buttons right there, and there's also some in the back when you have the hatch open. That folds up that third row. Very, very cool. I really found that to be a very cool and useful thing. I used it a lot. So anyway, that should cover it for this time. This has been Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com. This has been your interior review of the 2014 Infiniti QX80. We'll talk to you again soon.